What's up? What's up, my team? Okay, Mr. Bonnie. Only after 36 episodes, guys, he's here 2 minutes early. This is a
Hey,
feat. This is a
hey,
feat.
hey. Getting better? That's all I can say.
Every day, 1%. So 1% of the seconds that I want you here. That's it. That's it.
Compound effect, my friend. Now, I was here a lot earlier. You just didn't choose to let me in. So, we can talk about all that, but
Punishment.
that's right.
You ever wonder, as sales reps, right? You come into a meeting and you wonder why you get let in like 3 minutes after it starts. That's punishment, is what that is. Just kidding. You can't control it. What up, Mr. Bonnie? How are you, sir?
I'm good.
Good.
It's a good week. We're coming into September already. For most sellers with their sales cycle, I mean, goodness gracious, it's with big jobs. I mean, the year's pretty much over. You got what you got with the long sales cycle of big jobs. That's always an important way that you got to look at it. Over the course of the next 4 months, you're building to try to close out at the end, but really you're building for next year. And on the service side, we got enough time here to try to make up for any shortfall that you might have, if it's not too large, but definitely can't wait for the last 3 months, especially when it starts getting eaten up by the holidays. So good time of the year.
And depending on where you are in the US, you're right. It is an extremely unique time because we're going into the F word, fall. Sorry, but we're going in there. And that does a couple different things. One is rain, right? Two is falling leaves, which really triggers a lot of preventative maintenance, different things like that. So rain coming in, which is obviously going to kick up the service side. But if you think about the impact that has on production, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I was in my different roles, like this is the time where I truly start getting scared because I'm out of Chicago, right? So even think about almost anybody else, say in the northern Midwest. Like it's been snowing at Halloween, right? So if they still have big projects that need to get done, now's like go time, especially if they want to get it, done within, this year. Because as soon as it gets cold, the only thing that happens is that everything slows down, right? It takes more time to get the snow off the roof. It takes more time to heat weld, and people in general are just slower.
Yep.
You can't tell. I'm warm-blooded. Love the warm blood side. So nah. But yeah, no, it's an extremely unique time of year, right? Because like I said, we got rain coming in. Anybody who's on the Florida coast, I hope you guys are safe, right? I know it's category 1 they're talking right now. But that's coming up. That's going to hit us through the Georgia side. So anybody inside that area, right? Bracing not only for maybe wind and rain, but the service impact, right? What do you do when you have 100, 200 clients, snap of a finger, need service? Yep. So cool. All right, 2 more minutes. We'll get rolling here, guys. Everybody that's rolling in, welcome. This is probably, this is a biased opinion. I apologize. This is probably one of the cooler trainings, in my opinion, because this is where everything kind of comes down to making you guys unique in what you do. So I put this question up here, right? For how many solutions do you offer? Because I think this is the first thing that I want to really preference this whole thing with, is that as contractors, it's very common for us to be able to help in a lot of different areas. Because with a roof, you have your leak repairs, you have preventative maintenance, you have your typical maintenance contract repairs, right? So preventative maintenance, cleaning out drains, stuff like that, sealants, fasteners. Then you get into your contract repairs, which is your larger actual repairs, that are inside the roof. Then you get into liquid membranes. You can be in replacements, new constructions. You can be in foam, right? Depending on where you are in the US, Arizona, a lot of the drier climates are heavy in foam. No comments needed from anyone else, anywhere else. But there's a lot of different solutions that you can offer. And that has maybe good effect for you guys can find more quotes, right? Because you can service anything that has a roof, but also can commoditize you really quick if you don't know how to make yourself unique. And that's really what today is about, is how do you make yourself unique? How do you get to that third checkbox, right? Which is, do you have the best solution? And kind of what we'll be plugging through for the day. So, yeah. All right, 30 more seconds, we'll get rolling. And yeah, so answer the question. So while we're waiting here, guys, tag in chat, how many solutions do you guys offer? So I went through a handful. Repairs, right? So that's leaks, right? You service leaks, reactive leaks, preventative maintenance, contract repairs, right? Which is larger repairs that maybe still are on the preventative side, but they're actual repairs. It's not just cleaning out drains or fasteners or sealants. Liquid membranes, roof replacements, new construction, foam. Keep going. Now you want to do waterproofing, right? Do you guys do vertical waterproofing? Do you do horizontal waterproofing? Two completely different worlds from roofing. Metal wall panels, right? All of those are different solutions that require you to be able to position yourself as an expert based upon what the customer needs. And we're going to dive more into that today. So tag it inside the chat, guys. You can send it just up to us, but it's going to be interesting to be able to have you guys think about that, right? So question 1, how many solutions do you guys offer? And then by the end of this, I'm going to ask you guys, how many unique presentations do you have, right? How do you make yourself an expert specifically to the solution that your customer needs? And that's really what we're going to dive into. So the third checkbox of the 4D sales process, and we'll get rolling. Cool. 2:05. David, you ready, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Awesome. So here's where we go. First off, step 1, make sure the slides change. Write that down, guys. All right, so welcome to No Reps Left Behind, guys. You'll see a QR code upper left-hand side. That's our Facebook group. So think of this as like a brain dump from me in this Facebook group. At the same point, think of this a way for you to be able to interact with people who truly want to increase their knowledge of the sales and service game. I say that because I'm a part of a handful of them. And if you're looking for subcontractors, you'll find about 35 posts in there a day for someone looking for subcontractors. So if you want something real, right, where we're truly going to be giving away tips, secrets, tactics, and really kind of getting together to be able to raise the floor and give you guys some more information, join it, scan it with your phone. It'll be through each slide. And if it's not, wait for the next slide because it'll be there. My name is Chad Westbrook, guys. If you've been a part of this journey with me, you know a lot of my background. I would consider myself a commercial service expert. We're talking about sales right now, and that's absolutely part of the service game. So well over $500 million, and I say that inside service, right? We can always go in and sell the $1, $3, $5 million capital projects. I'm talking about $750 to $1,000 a pop, right? Times that, or divide that, I should say, by 5 billion. And that's how many tickets have gone through my management. So we talk about these processes, everything we're talking about, guys, this is proven. This is what I'm here to do, is to be able to help raise the floor of our commercial roofing side. And the way we do that is we make sure everybody has the information that they need to correctly qualify. And as we get into this, disqualify your clients, because that's what's going to get you a higher close ratio. That's what's going to help you guys win your game. Is better clients, not more. I say better leads, better sales, right? Not just more. More creates headache, more creates stress. So if you haven't learned that yet, we're going through it.
Hey guys, I'm David Bonney, founder of 45. I've been in this in the sales world for 15 years now. Written a few books. I've really devoted a large part of my career to trying to break down what are the tenets of success and what actually creates successful outcomes, not only for myself, but for those that I lead. As leaders, it's our job to lead people to outcomes that they wouldn't normally be able to achieve. So the key to doing that is giving people the tools and strategies that fill in the gaps. Now, as we're going to go through this training, and every single training that we go through, guys, is all aligned to your numbers. When we're looking at the number of activities, when we're looking at the number of meetings, when we're looking at the number of quotes and sales that you're getting out there, all of this training is designed specifically to increase the conversion from stage to stage. Obviously, on the solution side of it here today, we're going to be focused on ensuring that the quotes that you are delivering, you're delivering them in a powerful way, and we're increasing that conversion from quote to sale. And again, you don't need to double your conversion rate from quote to sale. We've talked about this a ton, guys. You need a 5 to 10% increase across each stage, and your overall sales results by 50 to 100%. These are the things that I learned in the venture-backed world, in the high-stress world, where VCs are throwing money at you and they'll get you out if you don't produce results. But now we want to give it to you guys here today, and I'm excited to dive in.
Cool. All right. So I messed the slides up on purpose. That way you guys knew it was real. And then when David got messed up, that's what we're doing. So we're live here, guys. We're talking about this. And the one thing that I'll say is that I'm here to disrupt you guys. During this next 60 minutes, I'm here to disrupt you, because if I don't, it's not going to have an impact on your sales. So I would absolutely love if you guys are involved in this. And when I say involved, it means getting inside the chat. If you guys are watching on Facebook or LinkedIn, I know you can't get in the chat, but if you go to norepsleftbehind.com, you can get in, you can be here, right, in the Zoom meeting where you can put the chat in. I want you guys asking questions. Questions are ultimately an act of intelligence, is the way I look at it, which means you guys are trying to process the information in your own way. This is not made to where I just waste 60 minutes talking about best practices, but my hope, goal, and vision for this is that you're going to take, even if it's just a small piece of this, and you're going to leave here, you're going to implement it, and ultimately be able to increase, right, your sales ratio, increase your sales, all that kind of different stuff that rolls through. So what we're talking about, guys, is the 4D sales process. So the first 3 Ds is what we're going through, right? Discovery, diagnosis, demonstration. And we do all of that to be able to create clarity and confidence. Those are 2 key words that you guys have probably heard me say a lot through this, right? Clarity of what the real problem is, and confidence that they understand how to fix it, or uniquely how you guys are going to fix that, which is what we're going to be going through today. So clarity and confidence is the goal. We go through discovery, right? Finding out what's going on. Diagnosis, truly inspecting, right? Because no one knows that there's an open seam or a puncture on that roof. What they know is there's a ceiling tile that's damaged. What they know is there's water on the floor, right? Then we figure out what the bigger issue is, which is water on the floor creates a slip fall hazard. It damaged product, right? It's something that impacts the business enough that they're going to spend money to fix it. Think about that. They wake up inside the morning and they're literally going to use cash in their bank to spend it with you because there's something disrupting their world. And that's the difference between a commodity contractor and a trusted advisor, is that trusted advisor is going to understand that they're making repairs to be able to reduce the liability, reduce, right, the damaged product or the increased labor, right, of having to do something different. That's why they're spending money. And when I say clarity and confidence, is because it all goes for one reason: to be able to help the client make a decision. If you guys have to ask for the sale, it's already gone. And I say that with confidence because if you position this correct, if you have, and we're going to show you what one looks like today, but if you guys have the correct presentation, you should be able to knock down all objections before you deliver the proposal. And we've talked about this proposal side, right? The proposal is your power. As soon as you hand that proposal over to your customer, you instantly relinquish 100% of your power, because they need something from you all the way until that moment to when they have the proposal in their hand or in their email, because now they have a number, now they have a scope of work, now they have all of the work that you guys did to make their own decision. And that decision might be, hey, you know what, we're going to award it to you. Congrats, you got the work. Or they're going to say, you know what, we're going to hold off on this because this bid's a little bit more than I thought it was going to be, right? Boom. Now you don't get the work. And then I won't say the worst, right? Then they award it to somebody else. Boom. And the worst thing that can happen, guys, is they don't do anything. They go silent on you. They don't respond to your emails. They don't respond to your text messages, and they don't come to the door when you walk in their building. That is all a result of a bad sales process. Right? And bad might not be the right word, poor or not clear, right? Because we want clarity. We can ask the right questions that's going to allow us to understand what is the priority of getting this issue fixed. It's not a bad thing if they tell you 6, because then you can figure out what's 7, 8, 9, or 10. And you can say, you know what, I'm after all the HVACs get replaced, then they're going to fix the roof. Now you know where you show up or where you come in. And you can better forecast sales, you can have better alignment to your customer, and you can know when they're actually going to award it. That's what this training is about helping your customers get to the point of making a decision. And today we're going to talk about how do you position yourself as an expert to know, right? You, not only you, but your customer to know that you guys are an expert, right? That means you have proven history of how you're going to get them from their current reality to the vision on where they want to be. So we got 3 checkpoints here. We've went through 2 so far. So the first one, do they need to act? Is the problem big enough that they actually need to spend money on it, right? A ceiling tile at a high-class restaurant is a stained ceiling tile in a high-class restaurant, let me get that clear, is a lot different than a stained ceiling tile at Taco Bell. Same problem, same puncture, open seam, missing fastener, whatever it is on the roof, same problem. 2 completely different worlds, right? So that's number 1. Do they actually need to act? And there's a series of questions that we'll quickly go over. Number 2, do they need new or outside help? If you give them a proposal for sealants and fastener, are they going to go up there and do it themselves? Are they going to give it to their existing contractor and say, hey, man, this looks pretty simple. Can you do it for this price? I've been in that situation so many times where I get my competitor's proposal and they say, hey, can you guys do this? Hey, can you guys do it for this price? The problem wasn't big enough for them to be able to switch. And we can find that stuff out. And then today we're going to talk about, right, checkpoint number 3, do we have the best solution? That's a huge, huge part of this, right? Because we do all of this work, all of this discovery, all of these questions, all of the stuff that we've talked about here. But if we don't position ourselves as an expert, we're nothing more than a cool person helping them lead them to there where they still have to pick the person who's best aligned to the solution that they feel they need. A trusted advisor is aligned. So we've talked about complete alignment, right? A trusted advisor is completely aligned to what the customer wants. So you both get to the finish line, right? Which is that signed, executed contract, at least on the sales side, it's the signed, executed contract, where you're both there, you both have the same vision, the end goal, and all of the work that you guys have done is going to allow you and your customer to know where you're going to end up. You want to take us through confirmation close, David?
Yeah, and guys, as we go through this, remember if you could just go back up one slide real quick, just to go back to what Chad said in terms of proactively overcoming objections. We already know, guys, we already know that there's 5 objections. Timing, it's not ready yet. We're not ready to go yet, or perceived lack of urgency, or there's other priorities. There's competition, internal and external. There's pricing, there's product fit, and then there's trust. Okay. Those are the 5. So checkpoint 1 gets you through timing. If you hit that, if you nail that, if you understand their urgency, if you understand what their pain is, then they will prioritize this. Do they need outside help? Checkpoint 2, that overcomes competition. Internal, can they continue to use their internal resources? And in terms of competition, are you just a commodity, or have you separated yourself from everybody? And then lastly, on this one, do we have the best solution? This is going to help you guys overcome the last 2. This is going to help you overcome the product fit objection and the trust. You shouldn't be losing deals to all 5 of these when you absolutely should be closing deals, right? If they're not the right fit for you guys, it's a different story, but you guys should be losing less deals to these 5 objections, which are the 5 core objections that every salesperson runs into. This one specifically is around the last 2 of product fit and trust. So as we go through the confirmation close, as you guys can see, is going to systematically confirm that those objections aren't going to come up. Chad, let me just confirm, this is a high priority for you guys. It's been a few days since we talked. This is still a high priority for you guys. Bam, timing is gone. And you guys do not have the ability to solve it on your own or with your existing vendor. Is that right?
Same boat I was the other day.
Low ability. Boom. We've got both of those knocked out. Now we're going to go into, we have timing and competition knocked out. Now we're going to go into the confirmation close, and we're going to confirm these 3 questions. Are we still aligned on the problem to be solved? And are you clear on how we specifically solve them? Confusing presentations create analysis paralysis and keep people from taking action. I want to make sure I get any sense of that. Is it clear how we're going to solve your problem? Product fit. Is everyone aligned to the expected outcomes if these problems were to be solved? And is the expected ROI sufficient? Price. Now, are we the right solution to solve this? Right? Do you trust that we can get this done? We're literally going through and just confirming each one of these areas and identifying information that we've already collected that should have already overcome those objections. And we're confirming it at the end. This is such a powerful position, guys, to come from in sales. This is where the game it slows down. It's so much easier to play instead of you being on your heels because you're reacting to all this ridiculous crap that we know is going to happen. we know where their objections are going to be, right?
So I want to touch on a couple things real here, because I want to take it into real life on how I see this, and I want you guys to be able to take this into real life. So priority level. A lot of times what I see happen is you hear what you want to hear, right? The customer says, yeah, it leaks every time it rains. Yeah, it damaged product. And you're hearing all of this stuff. And you're like, oh man, yes. Okay, no, he's got to do it. It's going to rain tomorrow. He's got to. But if you don't ask the right questions, you assuming the priority level is not the same as him saying it. And we talked a lot about inside these questions, don't ever assume, right? What we're here is to be able to discover, right? We're here to learn. It's okay to be inquisitive on everything that we're doing. What this allows us to be able to do is relive it, because a lot of things can change. I can't tell you how many times I've bid a project, one specifically that I remember right now. I bid it for $23,000. The awarding contract was 10. My labor was that, guys. My labor and materials was that cost. So much had changed from the time that I had met with him to the time that I actually gave him my proposal. Someone else has came in, they proposed a different solution, and the world got flipped upside down, but I didn't do this, right? I was so frustrated, right, at maybe the time frame it took me to get the proposal. As soon as I got it, I'm like, all right, good. I got it. Here you go. Right? Because my customer was upset it took so long. In a professional sales environment, guys, part of your job is to be able to slow the sale down enough to where you can have a real conversation. Clients will always have urgency, right? But if you run into a doctor's office, right, saying, I'm sick, I need this medicine, do they literally write you a prescription? Yeah. You got a check? Okay, you got insurance? Cool. Yeah, here you go. No, they take you through the same process.
All right. Malpractice, guys.
Yeah, calm down.
Malpractice if they do that. Yep.
Let's talk about this, right? All right, what's going on? What have you tried? How long has this been happening, right? Even inside the ER, right? It's the same thing. You can go into the ER and they still sit you down and they run this whole discovery process. What you're doing in this sheet right here, there's a duration, right? At a hospital or a doctor, typically what happens is you go in and they run the entire sales process at one time, right? I say sales process, medical process, whatever it is. They run the whole thing, right? They go through discovery. Hey, what's going on? Then they go into diagnosis, take your blood pressure, all that kind of different stuff, check your years, right? And then they come to a point to where they give a demonstration, which is what we'll talk about today, right? Okay, a lot of people have came in the last month with this. This is very common. We've used this and it's That's what we're doing here, guys. So when we talk about priority level, we're reliving this. Is this still a high priority? This is a major question to ask. Has anything changed from the original time that we met to right now? Is this still a high priority for you guys? Yes, it is. Do you guys have the ability level? Right? Is the ability level still low, right? No new resources have came available to you guys to be able to complete the project, right? Because if it did, this is an entirely different sale, right? Entirely different sale if something changed. And then most importantly, these
and on that, Chad, what if another vendor came through and gave them a proposal of a simple fix? And they're like, oh, that's all this is? Bob can do it. When you ask that question, you were going to hear a pause. You were going to hear you're going to hear something, I guarantee you. And you can dive into it instead of it being that silent objection that never gets surfaced, that you can't actually go in and have a conversation when you know somebody probably led them astray, when somebody gave them bad advice, a bad proposal on a simple low-cost fix because they were just trying to get the work, but they're not going to fix it the right way, right? So sorry, I just wanted to, that was a situation that came up last week. I just wanted to.
No, you're spot on, right? Nope, this guy said he can fix it for $500. Your proposal is $6,000. Obviously, I'm going to do it for $500. We've all been in that situation, right? Where someone half-assed the job, you lose it because some big variable happened. And that's really what's going down with your three questions. Is everybody aligned to the problems that are going to be solved? Your job is to create clarity and confidence. They surely better have a complete understanding of the problems that are being solved. And it is not the roof, guys. It is not punctures and open seams. This is their problem. They called you because they had ceiling tiles that were getting ready to bust. We're directly over this. We've talked about the larger problem. I don't have to go into it, right? Are you guys clear on how our solution specifically solves them? Are you clear on why I uniquely, I have a special sauce formula or process that no one else could match. That's what I'm saying. Because if you're not, that means I'm just like everybody else. My price just might be different. This is deep, right? This is deep, guys. This is real conversations that we're having. If they don't check the box, that's okay. Go back to the process. Do not deliver that proposal until you have all of the objections out of the way. Otherwise, those objections will come inside lost deals, delayed deals, or deals that never happen, right? Number 2, is everyone aligned to the expected outcome? So if we fix this, you were in line that we're going to actually get a slip fall hazard and we're going to correct that, right? The ROI, so you guys remember the story from last week, the ROI of the church, or I'm sorry, the theater that had the 40-foot ceilings, so they had to remove the seats. That is the cost of this. It's very rarely is the roof repair itself the true cost, the true whole inclusive cost. Interior damage, replacing of ceiling tiles, painting walls, cleaning carpets, replacing carpets, whatever other damage is done within this, that is the ROI. That's the return on investment of not having to live this again, right? So is the ROI sufficient? Again, ROI is not the cost of the proposal. It's the cost to be able to holistically take care of it. It includes damaged materials. It includes additional labor, and it also includes the repair itself. All of that comes together. And then finally, this is the nail.
But Chad, that's just a lucky deal. It's lucky that they have to spend so much money removing those seats. Oh, that doesn't happen all the time. No, it's because we dug and we figured that out, right? Like that is the key, guys. You're going to get lost productivity. You're going to get the cost of that lost productivity. You're going to get damaged material. If you dive in and want to go find the cost, if you go ask the questions, you'll be able to unravel these things, and you will all of a sudden be the salesperson that everybody else looks at and says, Chad gets all the good leads. You got that theater that just, it cost a bunch of money. They had to spend whatever it took. No, because Chad got there. Chad surfaced that, figured it out, or in this instance, Cody figured it out and drove it all the way through, right? So guys, all this stuff is there in your leads. We're talking about these situations and they might say, oh yeah, those are magical leads. Those are easy closes. No, they're not. They're the average lead that when you go back and you peel back the cover using a systematic process of questions that you can ask to get there, this information spills out.
Yep. Question 3, guys, nail in the coffin. Are we the right solution to solve the current problems and get you to your desired outcomes? Are you guys confident? Do you guys trust, right? David, you said that. It's absolutely awesome, right? Do you guys trust that we are the right contractor to be able to get you from your current reality right now to where you want to be? And I'm going to tell you guys, I'll be very direct here. Shut up after that. Just be quiet, because this is ultimately the indirect way of saying, much like David said, do you guys trust? Do you guys know enough about us, right, to be able to trust us? And are we unique enough to be able to say, yeah, I think you guys are the right company that can get us from where we want to be? And I think the ROI, that's the price side of it, right? The ROI is definitely worth it. We know that we have to do it. And yes, we understand that this is much more than a roof leak. This is a slip fall hazard. Guys, see how we connected all of those together in 3 questions that can be asked in this exact order? And if they say no, again, there's nothing wrong with it. Are we the right solution to solve this? Yeah, I think you are. Okay, well, what can I do to be just a little bit more clear, right? Give you a little bit more social proof of how I know we can not only solve this for you, but we can do it better than you expect. Ask that question, differentiate yourself, right? Because if you're not, you're a number inside a pool of papers and contracts that's going to keep you from where you got to be. So we've talked about this. If you guys don't have it, ping David and I, LinkedIn, email, Facebook. I mean, heck, join the group and ask for it. The buyer's action plan, guys. You don't have to create anything. Everything that we've told you, I have spent years and years and years perfecting this. David has put it into a methodology that allows us to be able to have 3 checkpoints to where every one of these questions, guys, is already defined, right? When people typically sit down with me, they got a problem or a goal they're trying to achieve. That's question 1. What's their objective, right? Who else is responsible? Are you responsible alone for getting this taken care of? Is there anyone else involved in the buying process? That's question 2. What decision makers are there? We can solve and overcome all of the objections that happen. All of the objections of, I got your proposal, I forwarded it over to my boss, I'll let you know what he says, when you guys are just blindsided by that. Oh man, he got it to his boss. Well, now he has to sell it to his boss. Well, has his boss got proposals from anybody else? And did he just delegate that down to be able to get a third proposal so he can submit it to corp? You weren't deep enough. I don't know. Good luck. I hope the guy you met with sells it good enough up there. Those are the uncertainties that we overcome by using an exact process, guys. So the 4D sales process is there to be able to create clarity and confidence, and ultimately getting the customer to making a decision that they're clear on and they're confident that you guys are the best. So 3 check boxes. Do they need to act? Do they need new or outside help? And do we have the best solution? That's a huge, huge part of this. Okay. So perfect buyer's journey. Checkbox number 1. We went through most of this, right? So we're going to fly. We're going to spend some more time on the workspace. But what's their objective? How many decision makers are there? What's their current reality? Have they tried this in the past and failed? Because I don't care how good your discovery is. If you present a proposal that they've already awarded or already tried, you're disqualified from the second you hand it over. So if you don't find out what they've tried inside the past, the contractors that they're using, you're going in blind, right? Scale 1 through 10. What's the priority of this project? 10 being, I need it solved yesterday because this is going to shut my business down tomorrow. Or 5, it sucks. It happens. I clean it up when it happens. You want to give me a proposal? That's cool. We can find all of that stuff out, right? That's checkpoint 1. Perfect buyer journey. Checkpoint 2. Do they need new or outside help? Okay. So diagnosing, right? This should be the bigger problems. We talked a little bit about this. Are we aligned to the actual problems that need to be solved? This is not a puncture, an open seam, or anything that has to do with the roof. This has everything to do with the disruption, the risk that they have within their business. No one's going to wake up and spend money on roofing because they like spending money on roofing. In the commercial world, we all know this: out of sight, out of mind. So what's the bigger issue that's happening here? And from a sales rep side, this is where you guys need to probe. This is where you guys need to go deep. These are not surface level questions of, oh yeah, the ceiling tile is going to fall. And I don't know, there's some people that walk by there. Okay, so what happens if it falls? What happens if that ceiling tile breaks? What happens if you have water on the floor? No, someone could slip, someone could fall. Again, I can't tell you what it is because your customer has to tell you. And on top of that, I've already said it once, you cannot assume as a sales rep, guys. You cannot assume. Ask the questions, be inquisitive, create the story, right? Because this story is your client's story. It's not yours. Huge, huge part of this. This is your client's story. So ask the right questions, develop what's happening inside here, understand the expected outcomes, right? Because again, you can say, hey, I don't want any more leaks here. I've had clients that said, I got 5 years left here. I don't want to have to deal with a leak again. Can you help me just get rid of this? That's a completely different world, right? So what are the expected outcomes? What are they trying to get, right? Are there enough? Is there adequate budget? It's a super simple question. Do you guys normally budget for projects like this? I didn't ask them what the budget is. It's a beautiful question to be able to say, hey, how's your buying process work? Who's involved in it? Is there a cap, right? Do you guys normally budget for something like this? No, we just take care of it out of a routine maintenance fund. Okay, so if you had a larger project, we help you with that, guys. It's already predefined. Gap in ability, 1 through 10. What's your guys' ability to be able to get this solved on your own? It's truly that simple. It's a conversation behind it, but it's truly that simple. 1 through 10, what's your ability to get it done? Oh, it's a 7. Oh, okay. So you guys can access the roof and go up there. You're automatically figuring out, right? Talk about competition, internal and external. This is where it's at. So do they actually need new help? Do they actually need outside help? Or are they looking for a proposal to be able to do themselves or turn over to their primary contractor? Then we got checkpoint 3. David, I've been talking for a long time. I'm throwing this onto you.
Yeah. So before we go into this, actually, I just want to play a little bit of color on the previous section, guys. There's a big time sales trainer that runs in the circles that I run in, and she threw a post up on LinkedIn the other day, and it triggered me, but it brought a whole bunch of clarity to me. It was something around setting an agenda for a sales meeting. And she was like, give me a break. When do you ever go on a date and you sit down with your date and say, okay, here's the agenda for our date. In that frame, it absolutely makes sense. But the question I want to pose to you guys, but I'm actually grateful that she put it, that she posted that, because it gave me a really good context in terms of styles. The vast majority of salespeople are trying to handle a sales conversation like a date. You're trying to get them to like you. You're trying to say funny stuff. You're trying to create a great experience. Is it a date or is it a doctor visit? You are not their date, guys. You're their doctor. You're there. The process that you take them through needs to be one that makes more sense, or it needs to align to a doctor visit. And the thing that triggered that for me is when Chad was talking about budget. If you're on a date and you say, yeah, so, what kind of health insurance do you have? What? What are you talking about? Why do you care what kind of health insurance I have? Versus if you're at the doctor and they say, do you have health insurance? It's a completely normal question. The environment that you create will dictate whether or not the prospect is going to understand where your questions are coming from and how they fit into your ability to be able to help them. Stop dating your prospects. Start trying to make them healthy and understand that these are the questions that we've outlined. And carve some out if you guys want to. We don't care. You might lose them to the objections that they're supposed to overcome, but the shorter version of this process is better than no process at all. But just start using this stuff, but use it as a doctor. You are there, you're asking the question for a very specific reason that is for them, and everything will go smoothly. So now you've gone through all of that. Just like Chad said, now it's time for the treatment plan, right? How are you going to go to the doctor? They're going to say, so here's what you got. Yeah. No, obviously, got to treat, right? Got to give them a treatment plan. You don't do that on a date. That's why this isn't a date. So how are we going to present our treatment plan? How are we going to go through and build the confidence? How are we going to ensure that they trust us? And how are they going to ensure that they see product fit? Problem, solution, product fit. That's what that means. Well, there's a very simple formula. We're going to go through this and then we'll give you guys an actual example that absolutely differentiates you. It's absolutely amazing. So the first one is our proven results and track record. We go right into it. They don't care what we're going to do until they know that we have an established track record of doing it and doing it well. It's everywhere, guys. Go on Amazon. I dare you right now, hop on Amazon and see how long it takes you for your eyes to go to the number of stars on any given product that they have. We all do it. You do it. Our prospects are doing it. They don't care what we can do unless they know how well we can do it. Proven results and a proven track record and history of solving a problem is absolutely vital, because once you can break this down in a very beautiful way, you will capture their attention. They will want to hear what you have to say after this. If you don't, you will go through your presentation, your proposal, and in the back of their mind, do these people know what they're talking about? Man, this other person said this. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I would probably go get a beer with the other guy. I'm just going to choose them. Who the hell makes decisions like that, right? It's so dumb. But that as salespeople, as doctors, it's a position that we put them in when we don't do our job right. So we get through proven results. From there, they understand what we do and the impact that it can have, right? Why does our existence matter? Okay. We're not just another commercial roofing company. We exist to solve a set of problems that every other company hasn't been able to solve up until now, right? What does success look like for our clients? Right? When we know that, we can rattle that off. Typically, we get our clients to It's like, oh man, okay, you dealt with a lot of me. That's refreshing. Typically, our patients, when we have a surgery like this, you're up and walking in 2 weeks. You're able to start running after a month, and you're good to go after 6 weeks. Love that. It shows that you have a proven track record. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, typically our clients see resolution the first time that we're out there.
Right.
Right. That's typically our clients, typically our clients see a proposal while we're on site. So if you guys need something done, we can create the proposal on site. We can even come down and deliver it to you right there. right? What is that proven track record? I'm just thinking of examples inside my head. So didn't mean to disrupt you, just trying to apply it.
Absolutely. 100%. And then in our battle tested proven results, this is the stuff. These are numbers. And again, we're going to give you guys an example of what this looks like that's actually used in the field. It's used out there. We update it every single year. We just update the numbers in the years, and and our teams continue to use it. The battle tested proven result. What's the quantifiable proof that boom, we have done this, and we've done this a ton. All right. From there, now we can do it. Now, how do we do it? Right? Why should you listen to us? Because of this. Now that you are listening to us, here's a clear solution. And this is not a convoluted solution with a bunch of jargon. This is a very clear, the 20% that's going to have 80% of the impact, a very clear message on how our solution solves their problems. Go ahead and go to the next slide. We want to connect the dots between the problem and solution. You should have gotten them aligned on what their diagnosis is already, right? You should have given them, hey, and my expert, from what I can see, this is probably what's going on. Boom, 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 diagnosis. This is what we see. Okay. We want to go through and say, this is specifically how we're going to solve your problems. And this is our secret sauce within that. You have bigger problems than most people are probably telling you. And within those problems, we're uniquely positioned to be able to solve those in this very specific way, because we have a specific material that we use or a specific process that we go through or whatever it is, right? And we just connect those dots. If you make your prospects burn calories to try to understand how you're going to solve their problems, I can promise you guys they won't. It's called evolution. We are literally designed not to burn calories, is to make sure we don't die. It's also called social media and video games and Netflix, and they will tune out. I promise you, it's called cell phones and text messages. You don't make it simple, they will not pay attention, and you will lose the opportunity to differentiate yourself and create clarity in the connection of problems to solution. All right, so now we've got why you should listen to us, how we're actually going to solve the problem. Now let's get them thinking in the future. Right? If we begin in this partnership together, if we do this, here are the timelines and methods. This is what's going to happen. This, and this. Remember this, guys. In the absence of information, people make up their own. Chad loves that quote. In the absence of information, people make up their own. Use that for your life, guys. This is not just sales. When you have a gap, when you leave a gap in your prospect's mind on how you're actually going to deliver it, any kind of nightmare scenario that they were in before, any kind of situation that their friends were in, they will start filling in those gaps with their own information, and that may or may not benefit you. Why worry about that? Why even have that become a part of the discussion? Get clear with them. Here's what we're going to do. Here's when we're going to do it. And here's when you're going to receive the critical points of value that you're looking for. We get them thinking in the future. That relationship is already there. They're already excited mentally, psychologically. It's all now come together in a type of presentation that nobody else in the industry is doing. And it gets fantastic results, guys.
But let me remind you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Not delivered a proposal, right? This is not sign the contract. Thank you very much for the contract. Now I'm going to get with my operational team and I'll let you know what's going on. This is setting all of that stuff ahead of that, right? We have not delivered the proposal yet. So clear on the delivery methods and milestones that work from them. This is still going back in, right? Think about it at the doctor, right? You're going to take this take this medicine for 7 days. Your symptoms should start to go away and be fully gone within 10, right? They haven't given you the medicine yet. They're telling you the effects, right, of using that solution.
Yep, it's beautiful. So let's take all this. Let's go into an example so we can get out of theory and we can actually show you exactly what this presentation can look like. Again, as we go through it, guys, here's proof, right? It should all connect. It should all be a free-flowing narrative. Here's the proof that we know that we're experts in the problems that we're solving. Here's what we do to solve those problems. And here's how and when we go about solving those problems to ensure it's a great experience for you. Super simple.
And I've already said it. If you guys have to ask for the sale, you've already lost it. You might be able to regain it, right? By saying, oh man, that slipped my mind, right? This is all about complete alignment with your customer of what is the impact, right? Do they actually need to solve this right now? What's the timeline of it? All of that comes out inside the process. So I am going to jump through some of this stuff pretty quick so we can get into it. So how solutions are delivered, you can either do it on a piece of paper or you can do it through email. Both of those ultimately put you inside a commodity side, because if you guys know it or not, everybody has it via paper and everybody sends it via email. So those things aren't new anymore, right? So when you look at it, ultimately, this is what I see as like paper. Right? This is what I see as like email. It's a little better, it's a little cooler. But if you want to truly differentiate yourself and be seen on the road, right? Be seen inside the sales world, is like, wow, this is different. That's cool. I like that, right? This is where you guys need to be, is that you have to avoid that commodity path. You have to avoid the way that everybody else takes, because you're going to end up in that stack of papers just like everybody else. Right? So everything that we've told you guys, we have that outlined. Okay. There's a workspace that we have to where every question you ask, you literally can type the information in. Right? So taking a look at this, our goal today is to find the exact issues. We talked about setting that. When people take the time to sit down with me, they usually, I'm touching the wrong one, sorry. When people sit down to talk with me, they usually have a problem they're trying to solve, right? Remember me asking that question? Boom, it's right there. And then if you look at the bottom of this, guys, literally have predefined answers, because once you get so good at this, you know what's coming, right? Oh, we got roof leaks that we can't seem to stop and it's causing issues in our business, right? Anybody have that problem? And say, hey, what's going on? What's the problem or goal? We have them already set up. So once you have all of this information outlined, guys, the only thing that you have to do is literally click this button and it creates a workspace, okay? This workspace is going to allow you guys to be able to take all of the information you gathered. I'll show you what this looks like inside a second, and to be able to give the client ultimately a summary of the conversation. And this is not only for the client. So the great thing that can happen here is that, number one, they say, nope, that's not right. Oh, that's not what I meant. That's beautiful. Because the only thing that's happening there is you guys are getting better alignment with all of this, right? The second thing, which really, really makes this powerful, this is a URL, this is a workspace, this is online, this is living, okay? What happens in this environment is they no longer have to walk to their boss and explain the work that they've done with you to their boss or to the board or to someone else. They literally take this link, okay, which has the proposal in it, and send it. And all of the work that you did, the objective, right? Okay, what's going on right here? The responsibility, who's responsible for solving this? What's the current reality? That you no longer have to assume or guess, or I should say even worse, hope that your contact is going to do a good job saying, hey, I want to go with this contractor, because 99% of the time, the questions that you're asking, they're not even going to know that they're creating this. They're not even going to know how deep you're truly going to go into being that trusted advisor and getting to be that commodity. So what I'm going to show you guys ultimately is a workspace. This workspace is a URL. So I'm going to open this up just a tiny bit wider so you guys can see full screen. And this is a workspace. This is a real workspace that we created. And what we did is we shared this with the customer, and the customer had the opportunity to be able to view all of the work. And this is not just the customer, this is the board, right? We worked with one individual to be able to get to this point right here. There were 7 people on this board. So that means I had to explain why the hospital needed to spend $100,000 in repairs. I had to explain that, right? Because I can promise you the guy I was working with did not have the capability to be able to even remotely understand where it was until after my conversation with him. So when you start up in the top, it's unique, right? It's got their name. We can change, customize all this kind of different stuff. It's a URL. As I scroll down, we call this the problem canvas. All of the questions we asked are outlined right here for you, your customer, and the entire board to be able to say, okay, what's the objective? Well, the hospital's neglected the roof leaks for over 2 years due to COVID precautions, and they need to get the building up to a leak-free condition. Can everybody on the board agree to that? Yes, we can. That seems right. Okay, good job. Who's got the responsibility to be able to do this, right? He's responsible for getting the roof leaks and must get approval by the board. Boom. Yep, that's right. What's the current reality? What's the authority? What's the pain, right? This is the real thing. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Well, continued leaks will shut down the top level of the surgery room, and they'll not be able to provide services to their patients. This will result in a poor experience and a possible bad review for the hospital. You think the board cares about that? turning people away, bad reviews for the hospital. I think that's why the board's there. This is a big situation, right? So we do it. What's the ROI of doing this? They're going to be able to use the top thing. They're going to be able to use the top floor, which is the surgery room, and not have to worry about bacteria or whatever other issues are going on up there. He defined the priority is high, the ability is low. Are we still at that exact same point, right? I get the ability to be able to review all of the work I've done. This is not taking a proposal and giving them a scope of work to do, right? I've met with you. I get all the stuff that's going on in the hospital, not being able to use the surgery room. So here's the roofing scope of work that you should do. They do not show up to buy roofing, guys. They engage with you because you are the individual, you are the expert that has the ability to solve their problems. What I'm telling you guys is to go well beyond the problems and give them a solution that's going to get them to their goal. Fixing that roof is not going to get them to their goal. Remember ROI? Remember all of the money that they have to spend, all of the bad reviews, all of that different stuff that comes with this problem? This is where you're building all of that back up. The other part to this is that you can share this with your customer, okay? This isn't even the coolest part yet, guys. You can share this with your customer before you meet with them. So if you want another touch point, you can say, hey, take a look at this. This is part of what I built from our conversation. Just let me know if everything's right. Now you guys have a way to have an additional touch point between the time that you met with him and the time that you present this. It works as a marketing piece too, with insane value. Now, here's where the cool part comes in. There's a lot of companies that have some pretty good welcome videos. It's amazing. Put it in here. Make a customized video that allows them to understand, hey, this is a workspace. This is new. I get it, but here's how you use it. And that's basically exactly what this video does. It's an intro video from me, right? I'm the salesman in this, to be able to explain to the customer how to use this. Dropping down from there, this is everything we talked about. Checkpoint 3, do we have the best solution? And I'm going to let two things happen here. One, I'm going to present this to you guys, okay? But two, recognize that the words that come out of my mouth are no different than what's on this spreadsheet or on this image, right? That's on this long form that we're going to be going through. This is going to create insane consistency, right? Success comes from consistency. It does not come from just going to the three-point line and throwing different every single time. Throw with the left hand, throw with the right hand, shoot with both, not jump. Now I'm going to jump. That's insane inconsistency, right? There's a reason that Air Jordans have a specific, unique logo on them. How many times have we seen him do that? So here's what we're diving into, guys. So what's my promise? My promise is to fix your roof leaks so you can focus on what matters. We exist because of three main reasons. Number one, too many facility managers tolerate roof leaks. Construction is one of the worst in customer experience, and the roof is ultimately the primary asset for security. And we know that because that's what we service and that's what we specialize in. Most of the customers that work for us see success in three ways. Number one is fewer leaks and disruptions. We're an expert when it comes to fixing leaks. The budgets that we provide actually work, which means we update them if they need to be updated. And at the end of the day, our goal is to be able to give you guys peace of mind through the budgets that we're giving you guys confidence to know that we have control and the ability to be able to make sure that you guys have the budgets that you need to make the right decisions for your business. Now, we have a proven track record of success because we fixed over 1,800 leaks in 2021. The real cool part about that is over 99% of those leaks were fixed the first time. So we don't go up there and guess. We're experts inside fixing leaks. Now, 72% were fixed within 72 hours. So we not only get out there, we fix it right, but we get out there fast. Okay. And on top of that, we're recognized as a top 100 contractor inside the United States. Now, our methodology, it's pretty simple, but I'm going to explain it to you. Fix it fast, fix it right, and fix it for life. Now, that's what we live by. So when I say fix it fast, we got 24/7 availability day or night. We got crews throughout the Metroplex, and all of those crews are fully equipped, which means any issue, any type of building that they come into, they have the ability to be able to make at least temporary repairs. So just because you have 34 buildings, we have the ability to service them all. Now,
Chad, if I can.
Yeah,
if I can, this is the guys, we went from the proven results and now we're into the clear solution, right? I just want to We want to make sure we're being clear here. How do we articulate a clear solution? Well, we start off with our methodology. What are the 3 things? Boom, boom, boom. And then we go deeper into them. So now this kind of format of 3s makes it a lot easier for everybody to wrap their mind around what you're going to do to actually solve their problem. So apologize for interrupting. Just wanted to make sure I drew the parallel.
No, dude, you're good inside here, guys, because what you're seeing from me right now is exactly what every other rep, including yourself, has the ability to do if you make your unique presentations. Notice I'm only reading the words, guys, right? Methodology, fix it fast, fix it right, which means we exceed national standards. We have partners and technicians that are certified that you guys can trust. And we always do post-job walks, which means after it's done, don't be alarmed if we come back out to make sure that our repairs exceed what we expect. Finally, we fix it for life. We talked about being able to fix 99% of roof leaks. Well, that's because we pinpoint the problem. If we have to, we water test, right? We test the repair. And after we test it, we give you a lifetime certification, which means if that leak comes back, we'll come back at no cost and be able to fix it. That's how we're the best. So when we talk about what the future looks like, number 1, we've already inspected and diagnosed the issue. We're going through the summary right now, but my goal is to be able to review the options that align to the goals that you guys have, schedule a plan, right, to be able to reduce the disruption inside your business. And ultimately, we're both going to be at the end when we stop the issues forever. So you guys don't have to deal with these same roof leaks and roof leaks in general. Sound good? So in summary, we see past the leak. We're best in class. Our certification goes above and beyond what you can expect. And we have a 1-call resolution, and it's proven through the amount of leak calls that we've done. So my real question to you guys is, number 1, are we aligned to the actual problems that are causing the current pain? Right? Are you guys clear? See how I'm going into this, guys? See how I went through my presentation here? I hit all of the things we talked about. We talked about the methodology. We talked about the proven track record of success, what success looks like. Now, I know I'm going backwards here. Why are you guys even in business? What makes you guys unique to the world, right? What makes you unique to the metro? So now I go right into the 3 questions, because now I've ultimately went through, are we aligned to the actual problems causing the current pain? Are you clear on how we solve them? I've given you that, right? That's what we just went through, is how I solve them, right? Fix it fast, fix it right, fix it for life. I gave you the methodology behind it, and I gave you the stats behind it. Are we still aligned to the expected outcome if these problems are solved? Now, remember, if I go right back up to the top, we talked about ROI. It's literally, right, in here. Here's the pain, here's the cause, here's the ROI. If we're reviewing this with the customer, we're right there in that. There's no assumptions. And then number 3, are we the right solution to solve the current problems and create the desired outcomes? Can we help you get to where you guys want to be, right? Which is really right here, right? Here's how we're going to get you here. Here's the methodology behind it. Here are the steps forward. There's no guessing. David said it best: when there's a lack of information, people fill it with their own mind. If you can't check these 3 boxes, you go right up to the top. Here's the coolest part, guys, is once these 3 boxes are checked, there's a thing down here that says next steps. All you got to do is click on this, and this brings up the proposal. So you guys can upload your proposal. Now, if you wanted to share this before you get to your customer, you guys don't have to show this. You guys can actually choose not to show this, where it literally just ends here. So we talked about using this as a marketing piece as well. Here's your marketing piece where you can do all of your diagnosis, right? Your demonstration, diagnosis, discovery. You can do those 3 steps. You can share this with them to say, hey, take a look at this. I know we're going to meet next week. I want to make sure this is set up aligned to our meeting that we're going to have. That's your interim. And then you come back, add the proposal at the end, walk through all of this to make sure that he's online, and you ask the questions. This is how you increase close ratio. This is how you ultimately eliminate problems and objections. It's very, very, I'll say, unique on how you do it. But when you make each solution its own presentation, that's the key to this, guys. And that's why I asked you at the beginning of this, how many solutions, right? How many products or services do you guys have? This one right here, specific to leaks. If I had another one, I'd have one preventative maintenance. I'd have one for re-roofs. I'd have one for new construction, because you guys need to position yourself as an expert, right? Which is checkbox 3. Going back into this, guys, checkbox 3. Do you guys have the best solution? If you guys can't do that, if you guys can't say that you have the best solution, all 3 checkboxes aren't there, guys. Do they need to act? Do they need outside help? And do you guys have the best solution? Anything you want to add to this, David, before we close out, sir?
No, again, guys, the last thing that we're going to urge you to think through on this, guys, is that, again, if this is more of a doctor visit, not a date, you guys need to think about this as a valuable service that you're providing. You're going in and just winging these conversations all the time. That's not a professional service that you're providing. You're not actually coming to the table like a doctor. You're just going out and having a date. And it's not the right approach in our industry. And we're really, really encouraging you guys to step in. Except for those of you that are in our program, we're not going to encourage you. We're gonna motivate. Yeah, we're going to motivate you to do it. But we encourage you guys to step in and really embrace this. It'll change your role. It'll change how you're perceived. It'll change the amount of satisfaction that you get on a daily basis as you're going in and truly helping people, not trying to woo people.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Cool. All right, guys. So I want to talk about this. We got 1 minute left before we get to our 3 o'clock Central anyway. We've talked about the last few weeks that David and I have always had a vision for what No Reps Left Behind is here for. And ultimately, it's been and continues to be a foundation to a sales process. My belief is that there are a lot of sales processes out there. This is the one that has proven success for me personally. I know it works within our industry, and that's why David and I are here doing this. However, when you talk about real success, it comes from leadership. It comes from being able to multiply your best reps, right? You have rainmakers that are just absolutely incredible at what they do, but then you have individuals that struggle. And you should be able to raise the floor, which means give all of your reps an equal opportunity to be able to be successful, which means the questions that they ask, the presentations that they have, right? The diagnosis, all the stuff that we're talking about inside here is going to help get that floor. But if you want to multiply your reps, if you want to be able to have culture and control the culture, that's where leadership comes from. So there's 2 programs that you're going to see rolled out over the next probably 30 to 60 days. First one is War Room. War Room is for sales leaders. So think about having ultimately a group of peers that can come in and help you solve problems within your business. So if you guys are part of a company that has a sales leader, what I'm talking about is putting together an actionable roadmap where we come together, review it together, and allow us to be able to use the best minds specifically inside the sales world to be able to say, hey, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, or this is how we solve something. This is a mastermind that I wish I had when I was in my sales leadership group or sales leadership roles. And that's part of the reason why War Room exists, is to be able to help create those good leaders into great leaders. The second one is for busy owners, guys. So the reason that this is here is because there's way too many business owners that hybrid between multiple positions. Think about someone who has maybe 1 or 2 sales reps, doesn't have enough to be able to put a VP inside place, but also doesn't have the time to dedicate toward the reps to be able to get them to where they need to be. We call this Rainmaker, and think of it ultimately as a way to be able to empower your sales reps so we can get them crushing quota, right? Get them to a point to where they're succeeding while you guys as a busy business owner can continue to be able to run the business and focus on operations or wherever else you need to be. So again, like I said, No Reps Left Behind continues to be the foundation of what we're doing. You will continue to be able to see us run through this series and feed in right to what you guys are getting here, but know that this is only the beginning for the leadership side. So you guys can check it out. It's makesaleswork.com. If you guys see any interest in either one of these, David and I would love to be able to meet with you guys. We do have a few contractors that are in each, so it's very cool as we continue to be able to build and grow this and give back to the community, guys. So thank you. As always, guys, share this. And yeah, David, anything to close out with, sir?
Nope. Thanks for being here, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week. Execute, implement.
Thank you. Later.